Good morning, friends. Welcome to Legg Life. Welcome to day number 5 of our Disney cruise vlogs. Today we are in St. Thomas in the US Virgin Islands, and you guys, it is absolutely stunning here.
This is our very first time in St. Thomas, and fun fact, this is actually the busiest harbor in the Caribbean.
And you can totally see it when you look off the side. There are a ton. There's one other cruise ship here in port with us, but there are so many like little boats, looks like personal boats that are out in the water, and I can see why. Like, it is maybe the most stunning port as far as like when I walked off the ship, or when I walked like up to the deck and just looked out, I was just kind of instantly taken by the beauty of just the houses and the land and everything. So we're gonna go do a little bit of exploring today, check out St. Thomas and take you guys with us. Look how beautiful the view of St. Thomas is from up here on deck 13 on the ship. Just so beautiful. All the white buildings against the green of the mountain, the blue of the water and the sky. This is absolutely stunning. Here we go, about to set foot in the US Virgin Islands for the first time. I will say, it is super hot out here today. You can see the Disney Fantasy right here, and then right next to us is the other ship that's in port with us today, which is the Norwegian Encore. Definitely a nice looking ship. Norwegian is one of the cruise lines eventually we'd like to try out. We've heard really good things about them, so maybe someday. But for now, we sure love cruising with Disney. This is really cute. We stopped in a local souvenir shop and they have a mug that says "Totally Awesome." Sherri and I always say that. That's fun.
It's totally awesome.
That mug is totally awesome. So we're pretty hungry. We actually slept in and missed breakfast this morning, so we're gonna stop here at this place we came across called the Deli Deck. So this is their menu here at the Deli Deck. You can see they have breakfast, they have omelets, they've got some sandwiches, some salads, wraps. So honestly, a little bit of everything, which is perfect for lunch today. And the place we're having lunch has Wi-Fi, which Sherri needed because, well, she's read all of her books and she needs Wi-Fi to download more books. That's when you know it's been a relaxing vacation, when we're only like halfway through and you've read all of the books that you downloaded onto your Kindle to read on this trip. So I'd say, as far as that goes, vacation, huge success. Lunch is here. I went with the Cuban sandwich. I love, love, love Cuban sandwiches. Excited to have that. Sherri went with basically like a chicken bacon ranch kind of wrap. Is that right?
Yeah, chicken tenders with bacon and blue cheese.
Looks pretty good. Lunch is served. I just found these Tortuga Rum Cakes. I don't know if you guys remember, on one of our last cruises in Nassau, I bought some of these, and you guys, I love them so much. $40 for a pack of 6. Gosh, I think that's more than I spent. I wish I could go back and see how much I spent back then, but these are delicious. One of my favorite gifts from the Caribbean. So right off the end of the dock where the ships pull in, there are a whole bunch of little shops. There's these little mall areas. So if you're looking for souvenirs, t-shirts, rum cakes, Christmas ornaments, magnets, you know, kind of typical tourist souvenir sort of things, you can actually find those right at the end of the ship. You don't have to take a taxi or a vehicle. They're easily within walking distance. Here's what we're getting for Sherri. We found a pendant, 2 earrings, and the chain. These are absolutely beautiful. Love the colors in the stones. Those are gonna be a really great gift to remember a time here in St. Thomas, and we got a great deal on them. So we found the set that Sherri wanted with the necklace and the 2 earrings and the chain, and it was, how much, Sherri?
$620.
$620 is what it was listed as. Obviously, we were not gonna pay that much. This is the kind of place that you never pay what's listed. So we ended up getting them for $155. I think they first offered us like 3 something, which was still too high to me, so I said 150, and then he was like 200, I said 150, he said 175, I said 150, he said 160, I said 155. So that is what we got them for. One of the most popular things to do here in St. Thomas is the St. Thomas Skyride. It's this tram system you can see right here in front of me that takes you to the top of the mountain. There's supposed to be beautiful views of the surrounding islands, the surrounding area, so that is exactly what I'm gonna go do. So I just bought my ticket for the Skyride, and also right next door there's actually a pirate shipwreck museum, and so I bought a combo ticket for that. Just so you know, it was $37 for me to take the Skyride up and visit the museum. That's a pretty good price for 2 attractions. Sherri decided to actually head back to the ship and enjoy some relaxation in the sunshine. So I'm out here exploring by myself, and I'm so glad I came up here. The views alone were absolutely worth it. Just to be able to see all of the islands off in the distance, to get a view like that of the Disney Fantasy. This is absolutely stunning up here. If you're in St. Thomas and you're looking for something easy to do, it's not that far of a walk from the port. The views are beautiful. It's a fun tram ride up. I would definitely recommend this. And there are a few stores up here near the tram to go in and look. There's some beautiful, beautiful art. So one of the things that Sherri and I had read a lot online before we came here to St. Thomas was how hard the island was hit in 2017 by 2 hurricanes. And so I'm here in one of the shops, and they have this thing here that I think is just really powerful. It talks about the 2 hurricanes. A lot of people lost houses, money, jobs, and credit cards. No electric power for 6 months. No internet, no ATM. People couldn't use credit cards, and so basically credit cards became useless. And so this artist here who has this shop was kind of inspired by that to make art from credit cards, because there was just no, the cards themselves were useless because there was no electricity. And so what she's done is she's actually started making these earrings from the discarded credit cards that could not be used. This is, I don't know, this is such a powerful thing to see, because like obviously not just the power of the storms, the damage that was done here to the island and surrounding islands, but what a way to take something that was so negative and turn it into such powerful piece using art. So I am so sad that this had to happen, but obviously I love seeing the way that she has turned such a horrible situation into such beautiful, beautiful art that tells honestly a pretty powerful story. You guys know we love finding souvenirs and stuff to bring home, and here in that same shop I found this beautiful painting. I just love the beach scene with the palm trees and the colored water. It's just like what we see here in St. Thomas, and she's actually going to personalize this for me for no extra charge. That's amazing. So I'll show it to you when we're done. So I just got to stand and talk to the shop owner for a while. She's originally from Russia and then lived in New York and moved here to St. Thomas about 3 years ago, actually right before the hurricanes. She shared a bunch of her story with me, shared a little bit of what life is like for her here, what it's been like post-hurricane. You guys, I really would love it. If you come to St. Thomas, please go see her shop. It's on like the first level, just below where you get off the tram. She has amazing artwork. Her prices are unbelievable, so please go see her. And now I am back on the tram, going down. I'm so glad I came up here. The views were amazing. I had a drink at a super cool little bar that kind of overlooks all of this. I got to find an awesome local artist, get a great souvenir to bring home with us. This was absolutely perfect. And I never showed you the final piece. Here it is, and I love that she just makes it on just like a piece of wood. So it's got the palm trees, the beach. I love the aqua blue green. And here it says Adam and Sherri, St. Thomas, Virgin Island 2020. This is awesome. And this view is amazing. And it's encounters like that with people who live here on the islands that I just love so much. And it's one of my favorite parts about getting off the ship when it's in port, is when you have an opportunity to connect with and actually talk to somebody who lives in a place that we're just visiting. And one of the reasons I like that so much is probably because Sherri and I, as we live in Alaska, which is obviously like a tourist destination as well, there's a lot of people that we've been able to stop and talk with and chat with along the streets of Anchorage who were maybe just visiting. And our hope is that as they engage with us, it gives them maybe a more authentic local experience than they would get if they just stayed on their ship or on their tour bus or maybe in their resort or hotel. So when you're in places like St. Thomas, when you're in ports, take time not only to get off the ship, take time not only to go buy souvenirs, but if you have a chance at all to visit local artists, little tiny stalls where people are making things that support them and support their family and support their way of life here in islands just like St. Thomas, do that. I love when our money goes directly to people who live here and who need it and who are creating beautiful things that now get to live in our home in Anchorage. This, you guys can probably tell, I am so happy and I'm so excited that I got off the ship here in St. Thomas. I took the time to come up here. I took the time to visit that shop and stop to talk to her and visit her and hear her story. But now, heading back down the mountain because I want to go visit the Shipwreck Pirate Museum. And one more thing I'd say about the Skyride is that the gondolas here don't swing too much. So I know a lot of people are like scared of heights, they're scared of something like this. I will say this feels like a super steady and sturdy ride. There's not a lot of motion to these gondolas, even though they are free hanging. So if that's a concern of yours, at least based on my experience today, I think you're gonna be fine. And now here we go into the Pirate Treasure Shipwreck Museum. So the museum is self-guided. There's a room you come to first where they show a little 2-minute video, and then you're free to look around the rest of the museum. This is really neat. One of the things they have in here is kind of a timeline history of the US Virgin Islands. So you can show different points in history that happened, when they happened, a brief description of what it is. And then of course there's all sorts of information on the different items they have in here, the different treasure and the different things that were found from shipwrecks. Another thing they talk about here is how in the world they even find shipwrecks. How do they find the treasure? And so you can see a lot of different information here. There's even an area that you can kind of control the machine, basically. Look at this. This is super cool. You control this machine and you have to try to like pick up things, move rocks around, pick up the coins. Basically, this is how treasure is recovered. There's also lots of information through here about pirates and what some of the true stories of the Pirates of the Caribbean are. So that's kind of fun to read. You can see different axes, different swords, guns, those sort of things there. We also have a special visitor. What would a pirate museum be without this gentleman? Hello.
Is that me?
That is you.
Huh. So you got a picture maker too?
I do have a picture maker too.
It's looking at us.
It is. It's looking at us.
So, what do you think of these ones?
I think the flags are amazing. I was actually just showing them, saying that it's interesting to learn about all of the different pirate flags and what they mean. I didn't know about any of them other than this one, the most famous of them all.
Is it?
I think so.
Calico Jacks?
At least it's the one that I had noticed.
Well, the most famous one, or rather infamous in my day, usually had crossbones.
Yes.
But he likes swords, so be it, eh?
Hey.
Some of these are only attributed, by the way. Some of which I've never seen. For example, Blackbeard's I've never really seen.
Oh, where's that one at? Oh, right here.
Although it's got a lot of symbols which are very well known by sailors, such as the hourglass, and this here means life. Skeleton, of course, death, and the devil himself. I'd say that'd be the reason they attributed it to him.
Yes.
He would say that he were the devil, 6.5 feet tall, and dressing all in black and all. It's kind of believable.
Is he the most notorious of all pirates?
Well, he wanted to be the most infamous, and I suppose it was. Perhaps when you got a name easy to remember, eh?
Blackbeard, yes, that's true.
So as it mentions here, his reputation was the reason that he was doing so much. Because there's no actual record of him killing anyone.
Oh, interesting. All talk, no action.
Actually, the last day was a lot of action.
Totally didn't know he was going to be here. That was so much fun. This is really interesting. Been reading this. It talks about pirate queens. It talks about how piracy was predominantly male because it was believed that women on board brought bad luck. So they were banned from pirate ships. And then it talks about how that didn't stop for some of the fiercest pirates in history from actually being women. It talks about the story of Grace O'Malley in the 16th century, Annie Bonny and Mary Read from the 18th century, and then more down here. That actually is part of pirate history I had never heard before. I love that. This is also really neat. It's an iron swivel gun from 1744. How cool is that? And you can actually see some of the designs. There's like a fleur-de-lis there on top. If you're wanting to get photos here, they also have this captain's quarters area with a giant ship's wheel right here. It would make a great place for photos if you were here with family. This is pretty intense. It's talking about pirate punishment, and there's like this metal cage that obviously has like a model mummy in there. But it says the hanged corpses of more prominent pirates were tarred and bound in chains, then hoisted in an iron cage called a gibbet or a gibbet, don't know, left to rot at the entrance to a port in sight of every passing vessel. The pirates' grisly fate served as a warning to those who might consider a life of piracy. So basically they took the bodies of pirates, dipped them in tar, put them in these metal cages, and hung them in the ports to warn other pirates and other people considering becoming a pirate. Holy cow. That's intense. And then we finish the museum, as with pretty much everything, it empties you right here into a gift shop where they have lots of different things you can purchase. They have t-shirts and bags and mugs, but then there's also a lot of really cool things. There's like shipwreck coins and stuff you can buy. So I am for sure gonna take a look at some of these because that would be one of the coolest things I think you could possibly own. You can see this display here is all loose shipwreck coins thing that came up, and then they have all sorts of different jewelry available. They have these over here, and he said everything will come with a certificate of authenticity, so that you actually know that what you're getting is authentic shipwreck, not something that was like mass produced and made to sell to tourists. And just so you know, if you wanted to do the Pirate Treasure Museum but you didn't want to do the tram up top, admission to the museum is $16 adults, $12 for children aged 7 to 12. Just leaving the Pirate Shipwreck Museum, bought a fun little souvenir for myself, and you guys, I really loved that. The museum itself isn't huge. It actually doesn't take too long to go through, but for me to go do the Skyride up to the top at Paradise Point, to get to do the museum, do a little bit of shopping, it only took a few hours here in St. Thomas to do all that, and it was really, really nice. But now I'm gonna head back to the ship. St. Thomas has definitely been a quick but an incredibly beautiful and a really, really fun stop. I'm back on the ship. I've gotten to some sun clothes. I want to go outside, sit by the pool, keep enjoying this amazing weather here in the Virgin Islands. I have no idea where Sherri is. I haven't even seen Desi or Maddie today. They're actually not feeling too good, so my guess is they're upstairs on the pool enjoying some sun, or they might be in their room taking a nap, but Sherri is not here. So my guess, Sherri is somewhere reading or napping in the sun, probably with a drink of the day in her hand. I sat by Satellite Falls for a little while, got my feet in the water, cooled down a little bit, enjoyed a little bit of sunshine. Sherri Beth, what have you been up to today since we saw you last?
Sat outside and read for a little bit, but it was really hot, even in the shade. Like, it's just hot. So I came in here in Cove Cafe, got some coffee, got some iced coffee, and I've just been enjoying the AC. This is Cove Cafe here on the Fantasy. I can't remember if I showed it to you yet. This is definitely one of our favorite places ever. It's basically the coffee shop on board. And here is what it looks like. You can see a number of tables and chairs around there. The coffee bar up over here. One of the things I love over here, just the black and white photos of Walt from Disneyland and the early days of Disney. And then they do have a TV screen in here that shows the location of the ship, the direction we would be sailing if we were moving, which of course we're not. And then there's a map on there as well. Then there's some more black and white photos. And then kind of, there's this couch sitting area, which is where we are. And right above that, more Walt photos. And in all of the Cove Cafes, there's normally like one little shelf with a few books. There's normally not a lot of books, but if it's the kind of thing that you don't have anything to read, or you read the book and you needed just something else, you could always swing by Cove Cafe and see what they have. But one thing they always have, good coffee. Yep. Sherri and I are just out walking around the ship, and one of the things I wanted to show you, this is actually in Cabanas, and it's really fun to see. They have clocks on the wall with different times set to Disney parks. So there's Disneyland Paris, Disneyland in Anaheim, Disney World obviously in Florida, Tokyo Disneyland, and Hong Kong Disneyland. Although one thing I notice, no Shanghai listed on here yet. And then right on the wall across from it, it actually has the castles. And I love this because the texture, it looks like it's made in sand, almost like it's a sand castle design. They have Hong Kong Disney Castle, Tokyo there, the Walt Disney World Castle, Disneyland, and Disneyland Paris. Again, no Shanghai Disney yet on any of these. My guess is if they have something like this on the new ships, they probably will add that. And also here in Cabanas, one of my favorite parts of the entire restaurant is these amazing, beautiful, like tile mosaics they have in here. And if you look at them up close, like they are individual tiles on this. And this wall is absolutely huge. It's so, so pretty. We just looked outside and actually noticed that the ship is moving. You guys, we are pulling out of port here in St. Thomas. The ship is backing out. So it has been an amazing day here, a beautiful day here in the US Virgin Islands, but our time here has come to an end. Sherri Beth, what did you think about St. Thomas? It was pretty. It was pretty. Naturally, one of the most beautiful ports we've ever been to. I think I said that earlier. I walked outside this morning and just like looked at the setting and was absolutely stunned. It is gorgeous here. So that's where we were, straight ahead, right behind the Norwegian ship there. And Sherri and I were commenting how this port must not be the easiest to pull in and out of, not only because there's like so many little islands around here, but it seems like there's just like so many of these little rock formations in the water. So it might not be easy to navigate, but my goodness, is it stunning. This is a port that I would come back to in a second. I would love to come back here. I'd love to spend more time here. I'd love to see more of the island. Next time we're here, I for sure would probably rent a car and go explore myself. This, an absolute highlight of the cruise for sure. This is really fun. It showed up on our door, and we haven't seen this on any of our other cruises. It's basically a roaming Mickey board. You can see it started with the Bischoff family in room 8604. And what you do is you just kind of write your name on there, your stateroom number, maybe where you're from, a little note. And then what you do is you just pass it on to another stateroom. And then at the end of the cruise on the final night, they ask that this comes back to the stateroom that started it, which is 80604. I love that idea. What a fun way to kind of have a memory that you take home from the cruise. You get to hear from other fellow travelers. This is super fun. I've officially signed the roaming Mickey board. Now I need to go find somebody else's door to put this on. Walking by the pool deck and Descendants is on, so I decided to grab a seat, watch a little bit of it, because I am not even ashamed to admit I absolutely love these movies, thanks to Sherri. Grabbing a little bit of a late lunch, swung by one of the restaurants here on the pool deck, picked up a ham and onion sandwich, got a bunch of pineapple, and one chocolate chip cookie, and also the view, not too shabby. One of the best things about cruise life is if you're a little bit tired and you just want to lay down for a few minutes, the bed and the room are always available. You don't have to do anything. You can do as little or as much as you want, and sometimes this is perfect. If you follow us on Instagram or our Legg Live Facebook page, you actually saw a photo from the day that we started our cruise. It's as soon as we got to the terminal. We met this amazing family, and their daughters made cruise ears to match Sherri for them and for their friends. And then we saw them last night at Pirate Night as well, and they had made more pirate ears to match Sherri's ears. You guys, that is like the biggest compliment, and we love that so much. And we know that the girls watch our channel, and it was such an honor to have them make ears to match Sherri's, and so we wanted to do something kind of fun for them, just to say thank you so much, that we see that and we appreciate that, and that means the world to us. So we bought this little Disney Cruise note card down in the gift shop. Their names are Olivia and Addison, and we just wrote like a little thank you note to them, just to let them know that we appreciate it so much, that we loved the ears they made. So we're just gonna give them some Legg Life stickers. We're gonna give them some of our Legg Life pins. We're not going to give them Sherri's wedding rings that were sitting there. Sorry, they don't get those. But just some like little Legg Life items to say thank you. Because obviously we think that it's so cool that you guys watch. But then like when we meet kids who go so far above and beyond to like make ears that match Sherri's for this cruise, we just, I don't know, we were trying to think of a way to creatively say thank you to them. And that's what we're going to do. Give them some pins, give them a note, give them some stickers, just say thank you. So girls, if you were watching, it was so amazing to meet you. We loved meeting you. We absolutely loved your ears. It meant the world to me. It meant the world to Sherri that you guys would make ears to match her. We hope you like the stickers and pins, and that you had an amazing cruise. So even after all of our Disney cruises, we are still learning things. In fact, we're walking here around deck 4 near the front of the ship, the lap that goes all the way around, and we came across this, which is the service animal relief area. Patch of grass right in there. Now there are a few service animals actually here on this ship with us, and that was one of the things I was wondering, is when you bring a service animal on board a Disney cruise, what do you do when they have to use the restroom? Well, that patch of grass is what you do. Now we're actually going to go tour Vibe, which is the team club here on board the Disney Fantasy and all of the Disney ships. We've actually never toured this, but they're having an open house today, so let's go and check it out. Well, this is pretty amazing and crazy. So when you first walk into Vibe, you can actually see there's like a main seating area here. They have a TV screen, a bunch of TVs, lots of comfortable seating areas. Holy cow, this is really nice. And then right here on the left, they have, looks like a little cafe area. You can see they have information on all the different Vibe counselors. They have Catan, they have a coffee machine, different games around like Battleship, Monopoly Deal, Heads Up. And then how awesome are these? They're kind of like, I don't know, little pods almost. They have like a little circle one there. This one has like the seat. You can see they have screens in here. They have outlets in here that you can charge your devices. You can watch movies and stuff in here. And then as you go further back into Vibe, you can actually see another movie watching area that has a big screen, has some bean bags. There's games in here like foosball. Looks like they have some console gaming right over here. More screens and game areas. They have Guitar Hero over here. Sherri Beth, what do you think of Vibe?
This is pretty awesome. I kind of want to hang out here.
I know, like, can they have like a mid to late 30s afternoon where we just take over Vibe? This actually is really nice. And as far as the console gaming, you can see they have a book up here that has all sorts of different games in it. So my guess is just come here, pick whatever game you want to play, grab a spot on the couch, and play it. So Vibe is for 14 to 17-year-olds here on board Disney Cruise Line. And I have to say, this is our first time touring this area of the ship. So fun.
It's really cool.
Super glad we came and checked it out. It's one of the areas of the ship that I've always wondered about and have always wanted to see.
we finally got to see it.
And as we get out here on deck 4, we can see just the remaining end of tonight's sunset. Sherri and I just walked into the atrium, and there's like nobody in here. We were so confused as to what's going on, but we realized that it's like 6:15 and people are either at a show or at dinner. So basically we have the entire atrium to ourselves. So Sherri's just getting a bunch of mini photos. We got some photos with the Star Wars Day at Sea background. As you can see, there is really like nobody around, and it's only 6:15 p.m.
So you guys, for dinner tonight, we're actually doing something that we have never done on any of our Disney cruises. Now obviously for dinner, you normally go to one of the main dining restaurants. However, a lot of people don't know that Cabanas actually offers a table service at dinner. Cabanas is right there. So normally it's obviously a buffet at breakfast and lunch. At dinner they offer table service. And so we thought on this cruise, so many of you guys have asked us about it that we wanted to come and check it out so we can report to you what Cabanas table service dinner experience is like.
Here's what the menu at Cabanas looks like for dinner. It actually looks really, really good. There's the aged prosciutto, the black truffle pasta prosciutto, which, as we said earlier in the vlogs, one of our very, very favorites. They also have the New Orleans pepper pot, which is super, super good. For entrees, salmon, oven roasted pork tenderloin. They have a swordfish steak, a ribeye steak. This stuff looks really, really good. Desserts, they have chocolate fudge cheesecake, creme brulee, date pudding. So I'm kind of impressed by their menu. For dinner, all of Cabanas isn't open. It's just kind of this middle section here. You can see they have several tables set up. You walk in, give you your party information, and then they seat you at a table. And one of the things that we've heard is that they actually use Cabanas here to train new wait staff. You can see the table settings are all super nice. Appetizer just arrived. I went with the seafood pepper pot. I've actually had this before. I don't remember what restaurant though. One of the ships I was on. It's got shrimp, it's got calamari, a bunch of vegetables in there, and like a tomato broth that looks really good. And Sherri went with the black truffle pasta prosciutto again. Our entrees just came. I went with the ribeye steak tonight. Comes with some steamed vegetables. It also came with choice of potato. I went with baked. I could have gotten mashed potato or fried, or French fries. Baked potato, that looks really good. Sherri got a couple entrees tonight. She went with the pork tenderloin with cheese polenta. Looks like some mushrooms on top of there. And then she also got the swordfish steak with vegetables. The swordfish steak actually looks really, really good. And dessert, we all actually got the creme brulee, which we had last night and had to have it again because it is delicious.
So we just finished dinner at Cabanas. My quick review of it, I thought the menu was really good. The food was really good. The service was okay, definitely not as good as at the main dining restaurant, but maybe the worst part of dinner, and I don't know, it was so strange because the ship back there at Cabanas was just constant vibration the whole time we were eating, to the point that we actually left a little bit early because it was making Sherri kind of sick. So I would say if it was just the menu, I would totally go. It was nice being able to just like walk in. It felt very kind of casual and go at your own pace. But the vibrating, which again, I don't know if that's normal or not, would probably keep us from going back.
Let me show you some of the pool deck areas that we have not shown you in past vlogs. This is Nemo's Reef, which is a splash pad. Obviously perfect if you have younger kids. It's clearly not open right now, but you can see lots of space in there for kids to splash around and play. Over here we have a smaller water slide for kids near the main family pool area. Here's the Mickey pool. There's the Funnel Vision movie theater up there. You can see the Aqueduct water slide all around the top here with the lights. So we just got here early, apparently at 10:15 p.m. and I'm like, I don't know, half an hour or so, there's gonna be some sort of a Star Wars takeover here in the lobby, basically showing the official transition to our Star Wars Day at Sea tomorrow. And look who just came right over here. Not a Star Wars character, but definitely a classic Disney character, Peter Pan.
Very good. I expect there to be no trouble here. Do not disappoint me. The end is near, Tortuga. Where will you pledge your loyalty? The Empire is the true power. You can serve the Empire or be crushed with the rebels.
All right, friends, we are finishing up at day number 5 here on the Disney Fantasy. Absolutely loved visiting St. Thomas. Sherri, you got off the ship for a little bit. What were your thoughts?
It was pretty. It was super hot.
It was super hot.
And I was melting.
So you got back on the ship. You guys saw I explored the town a little bit. And you can also see by Sherri's ears and by the clip you just saw, it is officially the transition to Star Wars Day. Cannot wait to share that with you guys tomorrow. We have so much planned. We get to meet a lot of characters. We have tickets to meet. Who are we meeting tomorrow?
We are meeting Chewbacca. And we are meeting Darth Vader.
Yep. C-3PO.
C-3PO and R2-D2.
So you guys are going to see that all in tomorrow's vlog, or the vlog that comes out in a couple of days. As always, thanks for being a part of our community. We love you guys, and we'll see you on the next Disney Fantasy Cruise vlog.